So Rome well and truly exploded again in today's action as Sinner broke history, Medvedev survived an early scare, Gauff shut down her dangerous underdog opponent, and Svitolina stuns eager Swiatek to keep her dream of a third Rome title alive. That's right, and if you haven't done so yet, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. And there's only one place we can start, and we have to start with it. It is Jannik Sinner. He has just set a monumental new record of consecutive ATP Masters 1000 victories, and it is at 32 match wins, and he becomes the longest winning streak for any player in the men's game in ATP Masters history. And he's overtaken Novak Djokovic, who had 31. And this is a record which I think will stand for quite some time. And it's one that he still has the opportunity to add to as well. Still a semi-final to play, potentially a final as well. After this tournament, it could stand at 34 with him going into another Masters, being able to potentially rack up even more wins. This could be a record for the ages. It could be one we don't see broken for many, many years. And maybe it's only he himself over the next few years that could potentially break this record that he's set. It's very, very significant. And the way he's done it has been nothing short of just electric. The tennis he was playing today, you'd think maybe there was some extra pressure on him. Maybe he was going to falter by thinking about what was on the line. No, didn't happen at all. Just came out and made Andre Rublev just look fairly average, I'd have to say. And I thought, not to be disrespectful to Rublev, because I think he played actually really well in this match. But the scoreline of 6-2, 6-4 sums it up, really, doesn't it? You can play brilliantly and still only get 6 games. And it was just about trying to get Sinner out the rallies. He wasn't really able to do it at all. He could hang in the rallies for quite a long amount of time, but the final ball that Sinner was able to hit after loads of these long rallies was just impeccable. Finds winners, hits the lines on nearly every shot needed to stop Andre Rublev being able to just get a racket onto things. Just so accurate, so powerful, scary for the rest of the tour. And yeah, the way that he just starts matches, he moves on like after a dominant first set, that you're always playing catch up. It's so difficult. And it seems to be the similar story. They make the second set a bit more competitive, but you still have to win that business end, and very difficult against any top player. But Sinner at the moment, it's one of the most difficult things in tennis, I think. A business end against Jannik Sinner, nobody fancies that. And in Italy, definitely don't fancy that either. It is wild what he's doing right now. It's not something I don't think I've seen for so many years watching tennis. This level of domination during matches. Because even though we did see levels like this, probably more so from the likes of Federer, I'd say, like wiping players off the court. But I don't ever remember it being this dominant. But maybe people will say it's due to the level of competition, and maybe you're right. Maybe the level of competition back then did have bigger names littered amongst the top 10. But you still can't diminish what is being done right now. Jannik Sinner seems to be on another level, and with no Carlos Alcaraz around, it makes me wonder when will this run end? It's not going to be for some time if he wins this Rome Masters. But there are some other players in the draw who could potentially get in his way. And the guy he's going to be playing next, he didn't have it all his own way either. Daniil Medvedev went through against Martin Landaluce, and it was a bumpy ride. Let's put it that way. Fair play to Landaluce. I think he came out fearless in this match and took the first set 6-1, which is wild. Medvedev just looked completely lost out there on the court in the first set. And Landaluce was just stepping inside and taking the ball early, using a lot of variety, and didn't really get intimidated at all by seeing Medvedev down the other side of the court. Medvedev, you can see that when he gets into a rhythm, though, that's when he's the most dangerous. Don't let him have the rhythm. And once he starts cranking out those longer rallies, gets that backhand churning, you suddenly start to see he builds momentum. Yeah, makes the points longer. And yeah, there was no real clean first strike chances for Landaluce in the second set or the third set. And he was really having to work hard to do anything really to get Medvedev out of his comfort zone after that. Still amazing performances in both of the second and third set, though, despite losing both of them. He was still a break up in that third and final set. Medvedev able to turn it around, though. Had his opportunities, had 3 match points, even right at 5-4. And fair play to the Spaniard. Held his nerve, stayed in it, but ended up losing. Was very, very respectful at the end as well. Apologized to Medvedev for hitting the ball at him, let's say, at the net, just because he was trying to win the point. And Medvedev said, you just got to win the point. Like, he's not mad. He didn't think anything worse of him. That's just what happens in tennis. That's how you win a lot of the big points. And he was apologetic at the time. Medvedev was very congratulatory of this performance, and he notices when somebody is playing great tennis, and he was under the cosh today. He was in a match and he had to fight hard to come out the victor. And what does he get for being the victor? He gets himself another matchup with you know who, Jannik Sinner. And Jannik Sinner leading their head-to-head 9-7. It's been a lopsided head-to-head over the last couple of years, though, and it's not been pretty reading for the likes of Daniil Medvedev, because the last 4 meetings he's lost, he won at Wimbledon back in 2024, but before that, he'd lost 5 in a row as well. It's going to be super difficult. The only maybe saving grace in this, which may surprise everybody, is that they've never played on clay before. I was not aware of that. And I don't know if that's going to help Medvedev or not. Bear in mind, he's the one who is a former Rome champion. Jannik Sinner has never won this tournament before. But we do know if Jannik Sinner hasn't won a tournament before, normally gets him up for it more than anything else. And we've seen it already this year. And with this record, I'm sure he would love for it to finish with a Rome victory. He'll be looking to just take this one by the scruff of the neck, the same way that he's done the other match against Rublev. I mean, I fully expect Jannik Sinner to win this match. Let me know if you agree in the comment section. I feel that he just looks impenetrable right now. If Medvedev starts any way that he started in today's match, this match is going to be over fast. There'll be a 6-1, 6-2 or something. We won't even get time to get going. But if he plays as good tennis from the off, we could be in for two very competitive sets of tennis. The other semi-final, that is Luciano Darderi and Casper Ruud. Well, this is me versus JG again. Isn't it funny as well when we're talking in the draw preview? And I actually did say in the draw preview, Medvedev is somebody you definitely want to watch out for in this tournament. And he did goad me into saying, well, you'll definitely have him in your fantasy then. And I didn't put him in. So I feel a little bit embarrassed and a little bit annoyed that I didn't stick to what I said in that draw preview and put Medvedev in. But I do have Sinner, I do have Darderi, but JG does have Casper Ruud. And this one's going to be super tough for Darderi. I honestly think the way that Casper Ruud's been playing, it's hard to look past him. And I do think that we will probably get Casper Ruud winning this one in 3 sets. But I think Darderi will give it a real good go. But I think the quality of Casper Ruud will shine through in this one. And we will get the Ruud versus Sinner final. How competitive that'll be, I don't know. But let me know if you agree in the comments below. Let's move over to the women's, and the women's were one step ahead. They are in the semi-finals already. They played today, and I'm going to start off at the end for this one because this was the big upset for me. I said yesterday I thought Iga was, if she continued playing the way she was playing, she was a shoo-in, and no one could beat her. And now look what happened. We had Elina Svitolina playing just with such belief and some of the best tennis I've ever seen her play. To do what she just did against an Iga in top form in Rome is nothing short of astonishing, really. And yeah, she just came out, took the opening set 6-4, and she just made the match super uncomfortable for Iga. So good defensively, redirected the ball well, and didn't allow Iga to just roll through her service games. Swiatek did respond like you'd expect in the second set, raised the intensity, found more depth, and then put Svitolina on the back foot. And then we went into that third. But it wasn't just Iga domination. It was Svitolina who reset and then jumped on Iga very early. She got the early break and then stayed just solid in rallies, punished any loose errors. And yeah, Iga's consistency, it dipped, unfortunately for her. But Svitolina ruthless enough to take an advantage. And the big points were won by Svitolina. And the Iga she just has this element where she's like quite erratic in some big moments, and especially when one error starts, they start to multiply. And by the end, she was close to, I think it was like nearly 50 unforced errors. I think Svitolina was fairly high, over 30 unforced errors as well. But this was won by Svitolina's resilience, her defense, calmness under pressure, and Iga lost it because the level, she just couldn't maintain it into that third set. And Svitolina into the final, where she will face none other than the American Roland Garros champion. It is Coco Gauff, who knocked out Solana Castella. And it's sort of a dream run, really, for Castella, because I didn't expect her to be this far. I expected this to be Sabalenka. Started great, went into a 4-2 lead in the first set, playing the same tennis she's played all week. Brilliant, clean tennis, real nice, clean striking. But Goff, she's done what she's done all week. hangs in there. And that's what you got to give her credit for. Waited for the moment, for the dip, and then flips the match on its head. She just became tighter in defense, started forcing Castella to hit extra shots, and then she wasn't able to control the rhythm anymore and was just reacting to whatever Coco was doing. And then Gauff just continued on. And the second set was slightly more comfortable. And Castella lost just once again, just because Coco just raising the intensity when she had to and then forcing the errors out of Svitolina. And now it's a second consecutive Italian Open final for Coco Gauff. Obviously, last year she lost in the final to Paolini. This year, she's into the final and she's up against Svitolina, who has won their last 2 meetings, which I think is really interesting. And the fact that Svitolina has won this tournament twice before as well. It makes for very, very interesting reading. I mean, if we go back to when they last played, I'm just going to have a quick look at it now. It was in Dubai earlier this year. Super close match. It doesn't get much closer. I'll pop it up on the screen so you can see as well. I mean, a 3-set thriller. And the second set tiebreak won 15-13 by Coco Gauff. And then Svitolina eventually winning in that third and final set. At the Australian Open this year as well, Svitolina had her way with her and it was dominant. I remember this one very well. I was disappointed by Gauff, to be honest. Quarterfinal was a slam, didn't really show up that day, and Svitolina was just in fine form. Coco Gauff won the one before that, but that was 2 years prior, and that was another one in 3 sets, another close one. So looking at what's happened this year so far, 2 wins to Alina Svitolina. Coco Gauff needs to get one back. How do I see this one going, though? If I'm honest, I think that we will see a 3-set match. I think these two are very closely matched when they both play well. But I think that Svitolina at the moment has just the bit between her teeth. And there's just something about her. She's a 2-time Rome champion for a reason. Last year in the final, Coco Gauff lost quite convincingly to Paolini as well in straight sets. And I've just got a feeling that the mental side of the game will be won by Alina Svitolina. So I'm going to be going for Svitolina to win in 3 sets. But those are my predictions and my roundup. Tell me your predictions in the comments and tell me your thoughts about the match as well. And if you haven't done so yet, give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you.